Hi everybody, it's Representative Rick Larsen with this week's Recap with Rick. I'm here in Washington, D.C., about to head out to Washington State, and we had a pretty busy week. We held committee hearings. I met with Northwest Washington community groups as well, and of course, we voted. 4 examples of the things I did this last week. On Tuesday, we had a hearing about the current state of our airports and the implementation of the Federal Aviation Authorization Bill, which, if you haven't been watching Recap with Rick, you've kind of missed the boat on this one. We passed this bill last year as a bipartisan bill, and now we're implementing it. So we heard from airports and groups representing airport workers about what we can do better to make sure this bill gets implemented, and we're getting those dollars out the door to keep airport travel safe. On Wednesday, I met with the Red Raspberry Commission that's based in Linden, Washington. And in Washington State, we grow over 90% of U.S. frozen red raspberries, and it is an industry that employs 7,900 people in our state. And so it's really important that we support raspberry production and other berry production throughout the Northwest, especially in Whatcom County. On Thursday, I voted against something called the SAVE Act. The SAVE Act just repeats what is already law. It's already illegal to vote in elections that you are not eligible to vote in. That includes people who aren't registered to vote. That includes people who have lost their rights to vote, and includes non-citizens. If you vote in a federal election when you are not eligible to vote, for whatever reason you are not eligible to vote, you can get in really, really big trouble, including go to prison. And we don't need a new law to do what we are already doing. And so I voted no on the SAVE Act, and I'll continue to support strong election integrity like we have in our state, and I hope other states can copy what we do in our state. I also voted against the Republican budget bill. This is the bill that attacks Social Security, attacks Medicaid. In fact, the Republicans are going to be cutting about $88 billion a year out of Medicaid for the next 10 years. Now, what does that mean? It means that families that have Medicaid as their primary health care could very possibly lose a lot of their access to health care. In a place like Skagit County, where 60% of the babies born in 2023 were born into families that use Medicaid as primary health care, this means your friends, your neighbors, perhaps family members are going to be losing access to health care. That's what the Republicans are doing. And why are they doing this? Why are they making these so-called cuts? They're not doing it to cut the government. They're doing it to help pay for a massive $4.5 trillion tax cut for the richest Americans and the largest corporations in the United States. So I will continue to fight for families and continue to fight to stop this administration's illegal acts against you all. So we've got some work ahead of us, and I'll be home this next week to hear from a lot of you on a lot of subjects. So look forward to that. Look forward to seeing you at home. Thanks a lot. That's this week's weekly recap. Thanks.